What's up, guys? This is Coach Cam, and I'm back today with another full body workout, starting off here with cable bicep curls. The structure of this workout is starting off with the arms and then working into the chest and back, and then finally finishing with the legs and the traps. So starting off here, standing cable bicep curls, I add weight on this exercise a little bit compared to when I do them in the middle or toward the end of a workout. So instead of being about 45 pounds, this is 50 pounds. I'm using slow and controlled form, slow eccentric, slow concentric, slight pause at the top, using what is a full range of motion for me. And, you might notice that my elbows kind of come out as I bring the weight way up about at shoulder height. That may not be necessary, and I'm actually trying to not do that in the future. And just keep my elbows tucked to my sides, bring it up to about 90 degrees is about all I can do without compensating with the elbows. As you can see here, I am trying as hard as possible to bring it up all the way. I could not. I'm going to go for one more rep and make sure that was failure. Here I go again, breathing as hard as possible, contracting, couldn't get to 90. That's going to be the failure for me on this exercise. Next is tricep pushdowns with the same attachment. I'm really glad to have this rack in my garage as it has an attached cable system with a low pulley and a high pulley. So here I'm doing tricep pushdowns on the easy bar, and the weight is the same. So 50 pounds for curls, 50 pounds for tricep pushdowns. I'm finding they're about the same in terms of weight and reps. So I can keep it like that, which is convenient. So I don't have to rest much at all between these exercises. Got to keep the elbows strong and the joint strong. So I'm not going to be jerking or slinging the weight. I'm going to move with only muscular force and slow again. There's no benefit added to moving fast in terms of your muscle, your health, your cardiovascular system. None of that needs you to move fast when it comes to weight training. So you can move fast if you want to, if you're competing in who can tricep push down the most weight or the most reps, but that's not what I'm doing. That was the failure right there. Now on to the lateral raises. So seated lateral raises. This is 15-pound dumbbells. And this exercise gets challenging pretty quickly to keep the form, to keep the muscle under tension, using close to a full range of motion as I can. You can see in my face that it's quite uncomfortable, but I'm going to continue to breathe. I'm going to continue to push past all the points of uncomfortability until I reach muscular failure, because I want to target my deltoids. They are actively moving the weight throughout the entire range of motion. Honestly, when you're lowering a weight and performing the eccentric, the muscle gets a little bit of a break because it's not having to produce more force than the resistance is against it. That would be a concentric contraction. It's not performing an isometric where you're contracting the same amount of force as the weight, but when you lower a weight, you're producing less force than the weight is against you. So it's easier to do a negative as you don't have to produce more force than the weight. Right there, I could not get all the way up, so I hold an isometric contraction and then slowly lower down. Next is an inclined cable chest press. This is a pretty good exercise. I use around 85 pounds on this. Had to switch out my handles recently. I had some cheaper handles on there and one of them was cracked. So switched them out for these durable, adjustable D handles. And I kind of held that rep there at the bottom. I don't know why, I can't remember. I was kind of trying to feel out the tension between the two sides, try to make sure it's even. Obviously this isn't the perfect setup, but it works well for me, and attaching the pulleys at the bottom there works just well enough for me to continue to use this exercise, although I might just start doing push-ups instead and see if I like that better or if I notice anything different. But so far, I'm still sticking with this. It gets really difficult here as I approach failure because of the instability. Right here, I decided to hold the weight, just do an isometric hold. And then I was like, well, let me lower down and see what the next rep looks like, although I'm not sure I'll get it. And I got about right there. And that was it. Next is chin-ups. So I used to do these with 45 pounds plate added, but this time I just did body weight because I did body weight at the park a couple weeks ago and it went well. So if you're going to use less weight, or if you want to use less weight for any reason, or you have to use less weight, go ahead and move slower. Move very slow. That will challenge the muscles just as effectively as a heavier weight for higher reps. You got to remember, your muscles don't know what weight you picked up. They don't actually know if the weight's 50 pounds, 70 pounds, body weight, a machine, a barbell. It doesn't know. The muscles don't know. Your nervous system does and will remember in terms of trying to improve at a skill or a sport. But when it comes to just physical training, the muscles don't know. And so here I'm performing each rep very slowly. Right here, I barely got this rep. Got my chin over the bar, going back down, getting ready for another rep here. This rack is kind of short. It's only 80 inches, but it fits perfectly in my garage, and I'm only 5'7", so it's a perfect height for me. Going up here and really hit a sticking point right there. Could not get all the way up. Held the isometric, kept trying. Slowly lower back down. So that was only not even 5 chin-ups, guys. Not even 5 chin-ups, whereas I could do 30 body weight pull-ups in the past. So, but it's not about how many reps you do. It's about the stimulus on the muscles, taking it to failure in a safe and effective, efficient way. Next is seated barbell overhead press. The seat is not vertical, so you could call this like a high incline press. It's the same thing. It's the same motion. So you're going to get front delt, a little bit of mid delt, and a little bit of upper chest, triceps. This was challenging because I started off with just an empty barbell, and then after 3 or 4 reps realized it was too light, so I had to rack it, and I only added 5 pounds each side because I'm still trying to figure out what weight works best for me. So next time I'll probably use this weight or a little more depending on where this exercise is in the workout structure, right? If it's earlier in the workout, don't be surprised if you're more fresh. Don't be surprised if you can do more weight, more reps, more time. But if it's later in the workout, I already hit triceps, I already hit delts. The expectations for this are not that high, but I'm still going to give it my best. So right there, I hit a sticking point, couldn't move past it, bring the weight back down. Next is rows. Use a little bit too much weight for this. This was about 100 pounds, I believe. 105 actually, 105. And I have a whole bunch of attachments there on the left side of my body laying on the ground that I kind of sorted through to try to find what I wanted to use. If you've been watching anything I've been posting on Instagram, or you may have heard in my last workout video here on YouTube, that you want to grab a bar that is fixed and that does not rotate. It does not spin in your hands. While this bar is a bit narrow and would not be my first choice if I had more options, it is the only bar that I own that is a solid piece and does not spin in your hands. I'm going to be doing a video about this soon and show you different attachments and try to explain this in more detail as to why so many attachments for pulling exercises in the gym are horrible for your grip. Everyone thinks they have horrible grip when every single bar and attachment ends up just slipping out of their hands based on the design. This one is not slipping out of my hands, and I'm using a supinated grip here to finish off these rows. Almost the end of the workout here is squats for my legs. So I usually added about 155 pounds to the bar, but I found that I was moving a bit too quick. The set was not very long. It was less than a minute, and it just causes more like technical proficiency. Like, you have to be more technical. Your form has to be on point as you start adding weight to an exercise like this, where there's stress on your low back and things like that. So started off here going really slow, remembering back to my body weight only workout I did at the park a few weeks ago, and how I was able to do squats with only my body weight and hit failure. So the issue I found today with this workout is with the bar on my back, it increases my strength significantly. The leverages are different in the squat, and I can squat with much more weight than doing just a body weight position squat. So putting the weight on the back makes you stronger. It used more glutes and kind of hamstrings involved and less quads, I felt, as I did this. I realized this was going to take me forever to reach failure and that I should have had more weight. So in just a few seconds here, you'll see me. I'm going to rack the bar and I'm going to go into squats without the bar. I'm going to experiment with this. This is just my own little test to see if I can hit failure with body weight without adding weight and save myself the setup and potentially low back stress. So what I was finding here during these reps was that my low back was on fire. My low back was just burning from the previous barbell squats. So this set really wasn't able to get to failure. In a few seconds, you'll see I'm going to just stop because my low back was just on fire. I couldn't take it anymore. But I'm going to experiment with this and figure out what I want to do in terms of squats. I know it's possible to reach failure without weight. Here is Shrugs. These are 65-pound dumbbells. I did about 8 to 10 of these. I see some posts out there that are like, oh, Shrugs doesn't even work your upper traps, blah, blah, blah. And they go into all this anatomical detail. Well, it works your traps and other areas of the upper back that are heavily involved. And I'm not saying it's the prime mover. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not making a claim to it. I'm just going to do these exercises. And my upper back and traps were completely sore for 2 days after this. So it is effective. And, based on the anatomy, that's up to you. Here's my little flex video I do at the end of all my sessions. 166 pounds, 5'7". Body fat, I have no idea. Probably like 19%. This is me bulked, by the way. I used to be 190 when I was bulked, but that was a lot of fat. So this is me slow bulking, lean bulking, whatever you want to call it. Not becoming fat, just eating correctly and training hard. And so far, so good. These workouts have been great. I'm only training once every 7 days or so. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.